when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right, Zesh? I know you love a saying, so I'll bring in a few English ones just to try and combine with them. We'll see if maybe the Clutch Minister is going to be making his entrance here today.
Pay your taxes.
Yeah, of course. Pay your taxes to the Clutch Minister. The classic, well-renowned saying. But, yeah. We're going to be getting into this one, and of course, it is going to be the attack side start for BBL. Now, they are a team, as we saw in the last map, if they spot a weakness, they will pressure down on it, and they do love their A-site executes. And by the looks of things, they're setting up for a push here. Scream and Yumpy on the other side. It's a bit awkward for Scream. Luckily, the paranoia was strong from Link, so he is going to be able to keep his teammate alive. Unfortunately, Yumpy wasn't so lucky.
That's a lot of information Gain definitely knows about, too, as Omen could have already been identified at the backside of A. The thing is, they can still consider to turn around, and this is what they do. Things are getting hot over here on A, and therefore, a change of pace is needed. They leave the spot, and so far, they consider to move back over spawn, rather take the short control, and this is where it gets a bit interesting to me, Tom, because no one is actively holding that. There's no utility also actively holding a short for now.
The thing is, a lot of the executions BBL like to go for when it comes to this short position involves a dash coming out from Russ. Unfortunately, he's no longer alive, so they're going to opt to just slowly take control. Break. Oh, that's not good. Shadow's giving away everything. It's an instant change of pace. The wall also going to be used to isolate Heaven. A smart play from them, but they've got to clear both players from underneath. It is an instant trade, though. Only one kill going their way. The turret also watching for Soulcast that he has to break to be able to get back into spot. He's got a shock dart to try and clear out some of the lower angles. And actually, see you later, Kiro. He's gone too.
Excellent dart right here coming out of the bow of Soulcast. Now maybe they get a bit more information to finally get that retake going and start the momentum their way. And with this one, they should definitely know they're just waiting underneath. Oh, it's Lego who's not hitting his shot initially, but then he makes it work in combination with a BLL. BBL starts off good, taking the first one and shifting the momentum on their side.
I do wonder if the reason they actually opted to just go back to A was because they didn't actually spot any of the utility out from Cryptix. He was one of the players that they sort of struggled with a little bit, and we know in pistol rounds especially, having the crossfire with the turret can be pretty tough and decent for slowing them down, so also just the fact that there was actually no one watching that angle, so a lot of information garnered for almost free. And by the looks of it, Liquid, after bringing that round relatively close, have actually decided to force into this round, maybe trying to be a bit more boisterous in their plays, but it also seems like in a lot of these positions, they're relying on Scream, and he's got a Guardian. Now, normally, for most players, this gun is average, but for the one-tap king, he's probably got this.
Who else? I mean, who else is made for this weapon than Scream himself? Russ now entering the sides there. We talked about it. Starts off good. The entry is on the side of the Belgian. Doesn't change the matter of fact that they still can't really find too many of those Turkish players. 2 versus 4. Scream struggling right now, not hitting the shots onto Russ. And Soulcast's decision is clear. Getting the judge through into the next one.
That's the thing, though. With the way that the loss bonus works in this game, it might not even be worth it. Like, just getting a couple of extra kills, earning the ult charge. Like, sure, your teammates are not going to be investing much, but it would mean that your own economy will be slightly scarce in comparison. By the looks of it, he's going to try and push his dead in PLO. Couldn't have got the timing better. Not really anything to do with Soulcast, but as said, like, I don't think in these scenarios staying alive is that beneficial when your teammates aren't going for a buy in the next round. Saying that, I have just watched Scream instantly purchase once again, so interesting. It seems like they really do want to try and catch them out with some audacious economy usage.
With the primacy of BBL is going to continue. I don't know about that yet, as we still have to see how much work can Cryptix do with the abilities at hand, because with his Killjoy, and we saw in the past, his Killjoy being very much capable of turret. Sure, I mean, this round he pretty much got the turret, but overall, to build up on that one. He's definitely very capable of denying any kind of control. As we're talking about that, Russ making a very deep move inside of the spawn. That B side already belongs to them.
One enemy remaining.
I think the worry for me is the fact that we're seeing a lot of heavy economic investments coming out from Liquid, and damage that's being done to BBL is minimal. Like, they've walked into these last few rounds, you're seeing a DLL on 6,900 credits. Like, it's not like they've really forced them into a corner with their finances. Now, it does mean they can come in the later rounds and instantly have that operator for Yumpy. So I assume that might have been the plan. Like, okay, you invest a little bit more in some of these rounds. Screen still going to have the majority of what he needs. Sure, he doesn't actually have any curveballs, so no flashes available, but he has managed to get himself an ult. And that could be the goal. Get the ult, make sure the operator's available for them, but look at the pace of BBL. They are looking to get right up in the face of their opponents, and some of them have already been scanned.
I mean, that was a wonderful wallbang. Lego just up hit there on his wall, elevated to take them all one by one. Man equalized it is. Russ also taken back into the equation, which basically is a big threat right here to Team Liquid. And Carol getting a lot of damage right here from the dart. Scream is at it again. It's now though Russ who might just change the pace of this game. Surely he has been the one who always brought BBL back into the place where they want to be. Finds Soulcast as well. And this is where the Turkish Jet could show his masterclass, but not against Scream. First round finally coming in for Liquid. It's about goddamn time.
Luckily as well, the operator's close by, time enough on the clock for him to retrieve it, so Yumpy will have his weapon of choice. I don't mind that round though from BBL. Still having a few bonus weapons. It's not like they really lost too much going into this round, and they can now buy whatever they want. If they wanted an operator on the attack side, which they do, they can invest into that. And I always love this boost. Are we going to see the Sage Wall alongside it? It's sometimes just getting you that extra elevation you need. By the looks of it, maybe something that's not needed. We'll wait and see. This gives you a perfect angle onto short if that is what they're going for. And actually, I think that's where Yumpy's going to peak. Look at Russ.
There you go. Yep. Exactly that. Russ easily eliminated by Yumpy as you predicted. Operator duel successful.
Well, that's the thing. I thought it was going to go the other way around. Like, and clearly that's actually a prediction coming in from Yumpy that they're going to utilize that wall. It is something that they like to do on the attack quite regularly, so clearly he had the right idea, but that's a solid read because normally that wall gives you a free pick onto anybody peeking short A, so the fact that Yumpy was ready for it, hey, that's a pretty good sign.
It is. You know, it's not that uncommon, but at the same time, you're right. It hits you once, and then you're like, oh, wait. Here we go again. All stuff coming out of Finn. Maybe the entry duel in form of Scream and Yumpy is revitalized. It would be amazing to see for Liquid. As for now, no chance. That is the paranoia for you. And this leads to a charge over to the A side. They definitely want to take control once more. Yumpy with it. And nothing else than Soulcast can do. Leaves it all to Link. But that's just pure power. Pure power, pure strength coming out of BBL. You can't do anything about it.
They're like a ball of death.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way they're roaming at the moment. It's like, okay, that didn't work. What we'll do is we'll just all run round corners together, and if any of us die, the other will just instantly get the trades. Like, it's just, look at them. Like, all of them are almost going exactly the same direction. Like, what do you even do against this? You have to just get a triple spray down, otherwise you get killed. And it's not even like they were being picked off as they go along. Like, BBL are just rolling as a unit, and there's nothing that the Quick can do against them. This is... It almost just seems too good to be true, and well, for Liquid, they're back to pistols again. The one round they won, they had one player surviving, and they were up against Spectres. So at this stage, I'm wondering if we're going to get more of the same.
It feels a lot like that Turkish Colossus is just not to be stopped right now, really. I mean, you can't slam the brakes against them that easily. And as there's no stopping, Aslan gets a lot of room for free, seemingly not very much on the radar right here for Team Liquid. As it takes his ult, gains some control over on B, it's done with ease. And that leads to the possibility of a fifth, with not too many obstacles in the way. The Scream whiffing the Sheriff, Yumpy on his ult, but the daggers, will they make a difference? It would be now time to start that, otherwise it will be the 5th. First one out, that's Aslan eliminated, and Yumpy's going for more. He even finds the 4th. But Lego still has a say in this, and he's saying, not any further, you killed too many of my friends here.
Yeah, that's where the NTs need to roll out in chat, because that was a solid attempt. A little bit unlucky that, again, they just decide to group up as the remaining 2 players to swiftly hit 2 with the knives. It's pretty damn difficult, so I've got to respect the effort from Yumpy, but again, in the grand scale of things, finances are absolutely fine for BBL. They've been doing well to keep a strong economy throughout this map so far. 5-1 up, still in for a purchase. And there needs to be a response soon. And again, it's similar to what we saw on the last map. It needs to be a dominant one, because the rounds that they are taking have been so ridiculously close that they never build up any economy. They never get to keep the weaponry strong. And more importantly, a lot of the time we're just seeing so many ultimates available for BBL. This man, though, is still feeling comfortable. That's the 2nd time in a row we've now seen Yumpy win the duel versus Russ, shutting him out of the round.
It's so wonderful how strategically he's just clearing the corners. In the meantime, Scream's like, hey, you could put out your Isle drone, but I'll just pass over. Thank you very much. Frag has been granted. Team Liquid up by 2, but here's the whiff. Unfortunately, the Finn doesn't hit his shots for now. And that could bring us to a pretty B-side heavy attack. It definitely is. Soulcast has to back off slightly. At the same time, the man still got his ult. And Hunter's Fury might just make a difference. As for now, Cryptix needs to make a difference. Could still have his lockdown, not going to use it because he's going to be overrun any second soon. Caro's taking him out. And suddenly we're in a 3v3. Make it a 2v3 right here for Liquid.
Oh, you wanted the lockdown, you've got it. Scream. He's going to try and battle before, and actually, he's taken 2 with him. They're going to put the pressure onto MDLL. He's being caught out by the Molotov, holding his ground, but he can't quite keep it. Scream with some highly impactful frags to bring one back for Liquid, but a lot of that still seems to be the win factor. They need him to go off in this match. Luckily, that's something we can expect quite often, right, Zesh?
Very much. You know, it's been a while that I didn't hear a cynical comment from you. I'm just waiting for it, but I'll love it. In the meantime, what I definitely love is Scream and his boys coming back at it. Because, you know, it feels a lot like they get in this limbo of not only economical drought, but really, you know, they're running out of success moments, which must feel some sort unfortunate at one point. But a man who's constantly finding his frags and is really taking out his counterpart again and again, that's Yumpy. And that might play an insanely important role in the long run, because taking out Russ, we've seen what they could have done previously on Haven.
Yeah, for sure. When it came down to the last map, I think he got in the rhythm when it came to the defense, and on attack, Russ was just finding entries all over the shop. So to close him out of rounds early is always going to be helpful. What I will say is I'm looking at an ult wall, I'm looking at Lego one away, and I'm maybe expecting there could be a res. However, I think if you killed Lego, there you go. The res is available. Unfortunately, you can't res yourself. So Lego's going to be out of this round as well. I like the re-aggression from Yumpy. Feeling confident this man can be just as an unstoppable force as what we saw from his counterjet in the last map. And now there has to be a response from BBL. And this is where things get very difficult. You do have Kero with the Hunter's Fury. You think maybe a plant can give them a way in. But with the smoke and 3 players watching, you have to look at Liquid and say there shouldn't be a chance here.
Oh, and Link. What an unfortunate whiff. And besides the fact that they have a man advantage, they'd still have also the advantage of a few more ults. Scream still trying to go for the wallbangs. Ain't working right now. And as they're held up for the moment, here comes his ult. Same one that also is right now brought in. It seems like Soulcast tries to deny him, but only AMDLL they find. And Hero finally eliminated. Aslan has to do a lot of stuff right now. I think he even dinged Cryptix right here. I'm not so sure, but it's still not according to plan. And here's the thing that I wanted to mention is, you know, Liquid, if they would have done this fairly flawless, I would have been like, you know, they find the firm right now, and additionally to that, they will have a good bunch of ults that should secure them before. But there were a few now used, a few very useful ones right now used. That's making it a lot harder right now.
I don't really mind it so much. Like, keeping the retake clear is much more important than just saving those ultimates for a rainy day. Like, the fact that they actually keep the lockdown, they still have that almost economy ability in the form of the Blade Storm. And for Link, he can also now take bigger risks with his rotations because he's able to just quick rotate back to B if they need it. So this is where Yumpy could get in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be tagged early by the drone. I think they've realized that they've got to be a bit more careful of his aggression, but instead, we just see them barrel straight into this B split. The fact is, though, Yumpy has already rotated. He's taken control. They're expecting him to be in this corner, and will try and duck out. The spam, not bad. Doesn't get anything. It's the no-scope, but the trade. And now the attack have 2 players to deal with within this site.
Ridiculous stuff, really. Yumpy taken out, DLL back in the game. Cryptix tries his best, but Soulcast is here to assist, and the back and forth goes on and on. They know where Sova stands. The only issue right now here for the boys from Turkey is the spikes on the other side of the wall. They can't just run to A, no chance. And it could be possible that they're waiting right now for the dart. Here it comes. They know nobody's on side, and that should give them exactly the idea where they are. Missing him by a millisecond, but Lego knows how to take out the final player from Liquid. And again, Scream for Yumpy, exceptional stuff he's bringing in. I mean, no scope, it's just so absurd, but it's not enough. And, you know, this is where I thought, yeah, the defense, look at that. This is where I thought the defense could work out just fine, but trading and trading and trading, and that is that one revive that gave them the man advantage. That one revive gave him that one player more.
Yeah, I think even at the end, you look at the timing, it's just a little unlucky for Soulcast. If he's still holding that angle for maybe 0.2 of a second more, he probably gets that kill. Now, Yumpy, this time, is not going to be able to afford the operator. He does have a cheeky Blade Storm instead. Scream going to be pushing all the way through. Drops one in a second as well for Scream. Looking to take this round into his own hands. The Molotov smartly used, and Yumpy, well, make sure that he has something maybe a little bit extra alongside that Blade Storm. This is so much information. Only 2 players remaining, and they've already got a fast flank. The push going to be coming in, and there's Molotov also into the corner again. Nothing that Kiro can do. Scream has dominated this round, and Liquid have their fall.
At the same time, it's finally seeing Scream getting such a 4K. This is though he's on the top of the squad right now, something where I'm so happy to watch the headshot machine go on and on and on. Because, as we mentioned, I mean, the man is so incredibly good when it comes down to entries. Is rocking a Phoenix with over 300 average combat score. And he hasn't shown that really in Haven, did he?
You know, you can't do that every single match.
No, of course not.
It would be unfair on your opponents, right? You know, but we talk about Russ dropping over 400 in the last map. Not quite doing it in this one, but still a very long way to go. And I think also, like, to pull those statistics versus the best teams within the whole of not just Europe, but also the whole of EMEA. Yeah, you know, whoever's at the top of that board by the end, it's safe to say that they're definitely one of the best players in the world. Now, even though we've seen some rounds going back and forth, BBL still have a purchase into this round, and you spoke about the ult economy of their opponents. Well, there's a fair few in play now for BBL. Straight away, the lockdown going to be utilized. Scream knows he's got to try and get rid of this one, and just takes down 2 players, but the lockdown stands. They're going to wait and try and hold. Russ actually dashes away after his second kill, but it's still in favor of these defenders. Now, the TP to the site should give them the plant. There is already a fast movement coming in from the remaining players. The tag even going to give away some of their positions. The counter dart expended to give away where their opponents are, but the push from Link could potentially cause them issue. It's definitely becoming quite a cagey affair, but now with the lockdown coming in, they're going to have to try and use some of their utility, and I wonder if they might just try and pressure, knowing a player can't do anything. It's left just on Takiro. And Liquid, their resurgence looks strong, and let's be real, going into the attacking side, 5-6 rounds, that's not bad for Liquid at all.
That's fairly true, because when we take a look once more at the numbers, we have a high sample size with Liquid, and when they get that bomb down, there is a 90 and 83% chance that they'll win the round. You'll be like, yeah, the spike's down, man. I mean, come on. Right, but when you compare it with so many other maps and so many other teams, this is an insanely high number. But first of all, we need to see what BBL can bring to the table once we head over to the defender side. Ruz now knows how to hold the W key, and this is so goddamn good from the Turkish Jet.
Okay, see you later, Aslan. He's going to be feeling that one for a few days. And the spam through, it's basically paper. That's what you're looking at right now. It may be the illusion of a wall, but it is paper on the other side. And we're seeing the spike planted. A few low players on the other side. Russ on 11 HP could definitely be an issue, and there's no after plant positions really. They're just all stuck in the back of the site. There's no Molotov, unfortunately, for Scream, so he won't be able to force them out this time. And already AIM DLL is making things awkward. The swing gives Yumpy a way back in, and now Scream looks to make his move. The sneak back, a double headshot from Scream. This is why we look at this man as one of the best players in Europe. It's 6-6 at the line, and this time, Liquid are making it close.
This is the Liquid. This is exactly that Liquid we've been talking about.
Switching sides.
The strength of this team is something you can never underestimate, and they looked weak. You know, some might even say they looked dreadful right there on Heaven. But as it was actually Haven, it's still finally, they're revived. They seem to be back on the server. This is the kind of Team Liquid I want to see. This is the kind of Team Liquid that has Scream and Yumpy on top of the scoreboard. And, you know, you remember, what did BBL say in the interview? He hoped Scream doesn't show up. That worked for Haven, but the difference showing right here on Ascent.
Whew. I think I need to catch my breath a little bit. 6-6. We're going to see those double pistols invested. Yumpy dropped the frenzy, bought the frenzy. Give himself a chance to shine. Now, they may have spotted Soulcast, but they don't know about the man in the corner. Link going to be peeking. He's still dinged by Russ, even though he was dashing away. That's the spike down as well, Zesh. This is already an issue for their side. And with both players dead, they're actually going to be trying to wrap him from behind. Russ already with his third kill of a round. They managed to hold him down for the majority of this map, but it seems like he's looking to shine, and Scream this time won't be able to bail Liquid out. It's another pistol for BBL.
I mean, this was disaster time, really. That's the kind of aggression you would expect from them. The kind of control they were taking actively over there on A-Long. They really wanted to force themselves onto Liquid. They were really like, you know, you're giving us a room, we'll take it. Let's try it on the next corner. And they made that move work, which gave them the spike, 2 frags, and at the end of the day, the pistol round, which then leads us to the question about the momentum. We're going to find out, as it looks quite decent. Russ is starting good. Cryptic's out. But Scream, I mean, this man has a sheriff. You know you shouldn't really get to the other side of that barrel.
Slam. No fighting. I think they might have slightly missed him swinging past, and AIM DLL is going to be the one to do the majority of the damage, although a couple of jumping shots attempted. I hope that was with the Classic and not with the Marshall, but maybe we'll never know. Still, going to be in a 2 versus 3 situation. It's unlikely, but it's workable, especially when Yumpy's still alive.
Solid dart, but denied. Still, they're up a shot, and this gives them good information about at least one of the 2 players. But that's what you need. Because the thing right here is he killed AIM DLL, and I was very worried. Once he moves around, the turret might just kill him. 22 points of health, and it doesn't take too much. We both know it doesn't take too much for this turret to get you out once you're a low HP. Dart now comes in. This is now all the information you need. They definitely go for that A side. Just a matter of fact that it was just a round.
Not quite there this time for Yumpy. Soulcast now, at least a plot. An extra little bit of credits to put in his pocket for the next round. But can he pull off the impossible? A 1 versus 2, 22 HP. But already he's going to nail the burst. The Marshal making it look possible. Either way, a hugely successful round for him individually. Only one player surviving for BBL, and now the likelihood is as well is we're going to see an investment into this round for Liquid, the chance to break back.
What's good for BBL, though, from the economy's perspective, is that one player doesn't need to buy in and can drop his teammates. That's Russ. He can give a rifle away right now as he has his ult ready. His daggers sharp as ever. And that at least makes them a little bit stronger. I'm taking it back, Tom. This is what you mentioned earlier. I don't need the daggers. I will just go for the rifle. And Karo's like, mate, come on. just give me the vandal. Yeah, you have your daggers. I'll stick to the vandal.
Looking like faster take being attempted. Long control garnered. There's actually going to be 3 players ready and waiting. Mid control being almost completely given up, and you can see the aggression starting to come in from BBL. As said in the pre-show, if there's any part of this map that you decide, you know what, let's leave it a little bit open, let's not leave anybody there, they're going to be pressuring it. They're going to be taking that control away from you. So they're just sat deep within B. They've got their turret set up, which could almost work as bait at this stage. And you can also see, in terms of further Killjoy utility, they have the ability to sense if anybody is going to be going down mid as well. So this control could definitely cause issues, especially when you consider the weaponry Zesh. Like, we know they have a few SMGs in play. Close range battles, it's only going to benefit them.
Lego standing anti-flash. Yeah, it definitely does seem so, and it works perfect. One taken out, that is Scream, and there's the wall. Yeah, it's going to be eliminated within seconds. Does he find Soulcast? No, he doesn't, but look how much he slows them down. This is not only the wall, but they're also slowed in the ice. Good information for sure, as Russ is there with his rifle. He most definitely is able to do more with that, but look at it. The dart is perfect. Yumpy's also joining that one. And with 19 and 92 points of health, I don't know if there's too much impact left. Surely there is. When Russ is on the score, when Russ is on the battlefield, yes, there's still something to do, but we're coming closer here right now, Liquid.
Yeah, that was well played in the end by Liquid, because if you look at how that round was setting up, BBL had a lot of information, and they also had players in the right positions. So the fact that they deal with that quite diligently, that's good to see, especially going into the attack side of the map that could inevitably send them into the lower bracket. And to bear that in mind, we just saw a Gambit side put up a pretty damn good fight against FPX, so you don't want to be in that lower bracket. You don't even want to be close to it. So to make Zesh's possible prediction of them going through into the upper bracket come true, they need to make this come.
Thank you for believing me, Tom.
I don't.
Okay, great. Good we got that out of the way. I'm sure...
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's alright. You know, I always love your jokes. At the same time, the right click is being loved by AMDLL. He's eliminating Scream, and Liquid is on the right track, but someone will knock on that door fairly soon. Yumpy has not been spotted. He's walking past him, and he has walked past him because that little turret was not making him so visible. Still, it works. And that was ridiculous. Really, I was thinking, wait a second, they're passing each other, and this pretty much cost the death of his teammate. Could have been a very good entry, but Liquid getting the majority of the players out of it. And this is the kind of Liquid we expect. This is the kind of Liquid we would like to see. You talked about their absurdly good record. I mean, how strong can a team be on this map in here? It is Liquid really showing the prowess of Ascent.
Yeah, I will say you've got to take into consideration that stat's inflated a bit because the qualifiers and the fact they've had to fight through them, but it is still an impressive result to not lose a map with a new player that since February. That's very impressive from them. What I will say is I wouldn't count your chickens before they hatch. There is a weapon currently in play which we're yet to really witness, and by the looks of it, they're setting up the same as we saw on Haven. Okay, you know what? You want the A site? Liquid, you got it. The question is your hold going to be better than what we saw in the last map?
Well, they will definitely not cower in the corner. They will go fully into it. And as they engage the site, door has been left open, fully destroyed. They just hold the angles. Just wait for it. Liquid and leave Soulcast far away from the pack. His ult is ready to deny it. And here comes the drone, here comes the wall, and this seems to be a bit of a mistake. Scream only finds one, and as Yumpy sees the legs of BBL, that is very valuable information. As Soulcast puts his dart in there, it is the Young Finn striking, and there's not much more to do. The lead is in the hands of Liquid. And I'm not quite sure, Tom, if this is actually the first time in the series where we see Link and his boys take that lead.
Link's gonna love you for that. I don't think there's many people that have said Link and the boys. Like, not that he doesn't deserve that, but I think Scream normally gets that title. But we'll roll with it. I'm happy to give the UK man a little bit of credit here, especially if he's gonna pull out some of those clutches that we've seen in the past. But for now, 9 and 8 in the lead. They shut down the retake, and I think that's an important step for them. Like, the way that we were seeing them get dismantled in after plants on Haven definitely had me worried. Of course, different map, different ball game altogether. But that might force BBL into slightly different style to what we've seen previously. Now, they can't afford to invest massively into this round, obviously wanting to purchase up in the next, but also the costs of the operator. We've seen so many kills like this, just slight timing spots which could have handed a kill over to the player, just holding that angle for so desperately long. Yumpy, he's not going to check. He's just going to walk straight in. Easy kill. The dash across, he's gone straight into open ground though, and Cryptix is ready for the trade.
Costly. Extremely costly right here on the set. They reckon up the dollar bills, it's not like that. The massive deployment is getting problematic at the moment. We lose too many of those. Good firepower has now vanished. As Yumpy has paid depth of nature. It's 30 more seconds. They don't have too much map control. They don't make a fast one here on the A site. Going for it at the moment. The turret still waits, but they got that one eliminated fairly sure. I'm aware of that. But at the same time, Tom, there is still a lockdown. And once they find Link, that lockdown is going to come in, doesn't it?
Especially with the time that's remaining, if he can get it in a place where they're unable to deny it. The only problem is the fact that Hunter's Fury is still available. So Soulcast could just use his ultimate to deny this. He's being flanked upon though. I wonder if this is part of the plan. Look, they've started using the Hunter's Fury and they're just going to run to try and shut him down. I think they've heard him, or he's heard them at least. I don't know if they were stepping as loudly as maybe I thought they would be. Could have easily shut him down. Instead, they've actually been caught. And now BBL is the only one remaining. The ultimate not really doing too much. And he has to try and clutch this out. The shock dart even bringing him even lower. And Cryptix with a triple. Something we've said regularly throughout this series. Good hold from Liquid, but there's a part of me that's a little bit disappointed. Like, you put that lockdown in. I must have spotted the Hunter's Fury. I do wonder why the players on the flank didn't just run. Because either, sure, maybe you die, but then the lockdown's going to catch the remaining players, so you actually have a very good chance of winning the round.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I was either like, wait a few more seconds until they get closer, because, I mean, they obviously are aware that there was a Hunter's Fury ready, and what do you use a Hunter's Fury for in a retake usually? Well, if there is something like a lockdown, you destroy it, or if someone is trying to defuse, you stand far away and just try to kill him long range, obviously. And this is where I thought either wait or, as you say, run at him and take him down, because what is the man supposed to do? He can't do a 360 that easily. He can't do a 180 either. And so Team Liquid, advantage by 2, and 3 more to go. And there you have it for yourself, Tom. Yumpy and the judge.
Especially when we see them out on the attack, this judge can be pretty scary. We know that he likes to get into very aggressive positions, especially around the door. Now, they have actually dedicated Aslan into the site this time. We saw them giving it up, and now he's going to come under pressure, needs to kill off Scream, it seems, but instead, actually, he ignores him and waits for Yumpy. It's still only going to be a one and done, but Link falls at the same time, and Scream, he just about gets away with that one. I thought the ult was going to run out just before. Again, though, it's the retake, Sash.
It is the retake. It is Soulcast taking a long way around, but not using it for a flank from short, for example. And they're waiting. They're taking their time as the reinforcement has arrived in the form of Soulcast. It is Kara who would need one more frag for his ult. If that's going to make a change, we're going to find out. little wall, the small one right here on the spike is now getting away. Cryptix knows how to deny it further and further. They're all just coming from the same position. Second Donner Swarm is in, and he tries to elevate his teammates. Does so, but this is just right now a shooting gallery that has opened up. Kara eliminated. A 2v2 it still is. And Soulcast and Scream, they want to deny it. Here comes the flash, no more vision, and only one man. Aim BBL will try, but it might be the 11th. It is the 11th for Team Liquid.
They're going to have to start getting a little bit more aggressive on aim, because I think Liquid are proving that this is not like Haven. You could not allow them to take this site. They will deny you the retake, and the part of it comes down to the utility, but also just these aggressive angles that Scream is taking. He's getting so many kills that he's earning his ult back almost quicker than it seems to dissipate. So 11-8, Liquid, well, just thriving at the moment. And I think this is the map where we can say that the duo of Scream and Yampi is one of the scariest in the world.
Revealing area.
By far. Yampi's entry capability really on the defense, this is what was, I think, exceptional to watch. If you are a Jet player and you're trying to figure out how you take room, but you don't overpeak, you really take it angle by angle, I think this was something I was so amazed by in the first half. You really saw him take angle. Okay, where could my counterpart be? One more, and a few times. And I'm quite sure he's positive in duels against Russ, that it worked. Here's nothing else than the Owl Drone. Oh, this is strong stuff from Caro. 2 players tagged, nobody eliminated, but this is making it a little easier right now for BBL.
I'm sure they would have been a bit happier if he could have found himself a pick, but quite the start they were looking for. Scream, just looking to try and sell this as a bit of a fake. Flash thrown in, warp taken, just trying to make as much noise as he possibly can, because, hey, as said, their A-site hold has been phenomenal. I like this adaptation, though. The wall going to be put down with only 30 seconds remaining. BBL, they've held it. You want to bait us out? You want to try and force rotations? Well, we're going to try and put something directly in your path. And Aslan is actually still just on the edge of it. I don't know if they're going to clear this angle. It's slightly up, but Soulcast is ready for it. The trade's coming back and forth. They need to get onto the site. And Russ realizes if he can find a kill here, if he can deny the plant, it could be everything. He's going to be tapping through the wall, forcing Yampi off the angle. And with both remaining players isolated to the site, we're in the same retake again.
Absolutely nasty stuff, and Scream is back at it again, but now it's only down to Caro. Shot whiffed, and this is giving him a lot of movement freedom. But he's not expecting Ling to just wait. This brings him to a scenario where they're just a round away. A single one before he might head onto Binds. I'm very excited if we go into the first map, very honestly, but it's not done. This chapter is not entirely closed. We might just already, skipping through the credits, but not the last page read. And BBL, 4 more to go. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, this attack from Liquid has been impeccable. Like, they've been trying to bait out to hold players in towards the B site, but this has basically just gone into an A site retake server, and BBL have just not been able to do anything. Screaming after plants has just been so deadly that they don't seem to be able to do anything. But I also want to give credit to Soulcast. Like, the fact that they had these sort of different angles, this setup that was even just to try and hold them back, and he's so ready with the pre-fire onto the site, it almost just seemed perfect.
The Tucker Killjoy coming in, pretty much clearing out the side right now. Russ is... yeah, for a second we thought the same thing. I was like, wait a second, doesn't really go in there? Ain't happening. Very slow approach, though. They have been stalled massively, and it's down to Russ now to make a difference. Though the Turkish side fairly wounded, they find still a few frags left, right, and center, and it's Russ who somewhat brings it back. This only leads it to Link, as well as to Cryptix, one of them on 46 points of health. You talked about it being as thin as paper, and this seems to be where Russ was trying to abuse it. It ain't happening right now. Wants to deny that nano swarm, but it ain't happening, and it's surely Russ we have all our eyes on, because he usually was the component in that wonderful working machine of BBL that was working without any malfunction. It's him alone who can withstand the pressure. 13-8. The Liquid are back on track to some degree, but definitely they are back alive here, Tom.
Yeah, no, that was an impressive attack side in particular. Like, they did well to sort of bring back what was a bit of a rough start to the map. But yeah, the way that the second they got in an afterplant, we could almost just take that gamble that it was going to be going Liquid's way. They look well drilled on this map, and hey, there's a reason they are now 12-0 versus a multitude of different opposition. They are looking like a very strong Ascent team, and I think it's going to take a real titan to break them down on that map in particular. But it does mean, Zesh, that we are now one apiece, so it's decider time, and I'm more than ready.
I am more than ready as well, Tom. We are going into a little break. Grab yourself some snacks, something to drink, but you shouldn't miss out on the action on map number 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll just be right back.